Sup? So, in relation to me as a person, I'm related to Rutherford B. Hayes, former U.S. president. After he was president, he went and sat on the board of governance for the Ohio State University. That's what he did in his retirement. I did that by my early 20s, but for all the 7 public universities in Oregon before they went to local boards. And I guess they are football too there. I was against it. So Rutherford B. Hayes, my ancestor, lawyer, general, governor of Ohio, from Ohio, and then president. And he did the higher ed thing in his retirement. I came in that front loaded. They made me a TI, destroyed my life. 15 years ago, I just tried to cobble it together every day. Sleep in the void, which is nice. I don't have any consciousness. I could be walking on the moon for all I know. And there's an Irish check. Fucktards, just being real with you. Johnny L. Sullivan, bare knuckles, a heavyweight champion of the world. And then when they put gloves on, he continued to be champion. And the sport's been better ever since. And my grandpa really liked boxing. Good Irishman. Out of Butte, Montana, homesteading. And on my father's side, there was some pretty accurate details about the family, like Charlemagne, ancestors by the name of Horseman, 4 of them, a wife and 3 boys that were adopted into the Young family, a tribe looked down upon in Utah. And then the Mormons have like an obsessive reputation about lineage and things like that. I talked to my cousin Amy, and like even for their copious record keepings, there's like a blank spot. Like there's a censored spot, even within their attention to detail. And just how I came about the Mr. Potato Head mix. If there's anything activated in my body, it's spiritual, and like the synthetic telepathy was interfering with that. I don't really know. It's all blended together, and it's all just been synthetic telepathy, is my understanding. Just domestic U.S. international Satanism, but U.S. based. And then I don't really even believe in anything spiritual coming off a body. I mean, it's a body. I could be wrong, you know. I mean, what is spiritual? Let's really define that in a 50-page academic journal before we even use the word, and then agree on terms of it before I even meet with you and talk about it. Shit like that. And instead, I get these satanic repeaters of words people don't even understand. Throw them around like footballs. It's crazy talk. So, where was I? Oh, chitter chatting here with Catter Dog Man Bear Pig. Get hit in the eye or something like that. So, this is me, my flesh and blood. Almost 40 on the West Coast, one of 7 to 8 billion humans, much like myself, qualitatively and quantitatively. And we're being abused to varying degrees. Even just being alive and born here, it's abuse, I feel like. From perspectives we don't all share, because a lot of people don't have the outside info of like, what is it like out those black Swiss cheese holes and shit like that. And then there's all this kind of interference, like, oh, some things I have to clear up because of the state-sponsored Satanism. No, I don't sleep with kids or men, or I didn't found Anonymous. You should really forgive and forget. That's basic Christianity and shit. They're like, well, we never forgive, we never forget. And other rumors that were designed for kill. They tried with the repeater and then the set design of EMF perps or otherwise falsified humans saying the satanic repeater over and over, no love. And then all of the other set design that followed me, like to Vegas and like all this other shit, they really thought they could kill with that. But I'm being deadened in love. No. And I know what it's like when they flood your body with normally not comprehensible feelings of love, and would have a second shot at navigating that at moments of death to dodge the white tunnel of light. I would have had it happen to me before, unlike most of the population. So I think I'm going to be okay. I'll have a better shot at most. You won't even collect the data right. Or, the rings of Saturn. I'll be scratching down on their diamond plates. Okay, we lost another fucking asshole. Figured out he was a slave. And then on to non-reincarnation is my long-term goal as a Buddhist. And I think that's the best plan for everybody on Earth. Is that controversial? They're not going to turn my chips off. And they think I'm a godism. It's so cray. And God is like a misnomer. If I'm using the term correctly, they have Satanism and like 50,000 year planning of it in reverse going forward. And then time travel may be such a disgusting variable. Even thinking of the sin of it may make your mind explode. Anyways. But it's really me. And I'm not going to a 360-degree moon review. No. Reincarnation and memory wipes are evil. No, you don't want to do that to me, no. Buddhist on impulse as a kid. I'm trying to get rid of it. Eternal life. Apparently we all have it. You just keep getting memory wiped and forget that. Among other criteria on the nature of this concocted reality in the first place, that's going to need a lot of deprogramming. Their future is deprogramming, particularly for TI. Yep. Let's just do some fun stuff here while I'm on camera for you guys. I chew chow. So yeah, get used to that. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Come from a family of dentists. And I chew chow. Yeah. Really tried to impress you there. It's one of my indulgences. The chew chow. I don't give a fuck. Not like I'm making out with anybody. The chew chow. Oh shit. So I'm growing my hair out. This is like 6 months of this is like 6 months growth here, and then from a fairly, normal haircut, maybe about up to there or something prior. I just let it all hang out. Oh yeah, and I need John Lear's daughter along the way too. She's really cool, a really good person. Oh yeah, so Johnny L. Sullivan, Rutherford B. Hayes in the mix. The Young family of Utah. Not Mormon though. And if you're not Mormon, you're called a Nomo or a Jack Mormon. if you're like, you have family who's Mormon, but you don't ascribe to the faith. And don't let them do a satanic misdirect and just like blame, oh, it's the Mormons that are being misled. Because it's referring to the memory wipe at the moon when they're talking about, in the end, you will know all. And then memory wiped in back here is what they leave out. No, that's used for the whole planet. They shine that from the moon. After you die, you can see it. You just can't perceive it in the human mind. It's my understanding. And there's a lot of life in the neighborhood, apparently, and other planes of existence in particular. Some of the people corroborating from us is Connect 4 on this bad boy, or whatever the analogy. We're talking about the Orion Nebula, I think it is, and having a lot of habitable life that you will be able to, in your current transformed dimensional form after you get out the black Swiss cheese holes, go and like you'll be on the same frequency or same wavelength, be able to perceive each other. And that's a good place to go for like the beginner's guide to the galaxy or Milky Way or our area of the Milky Way. There's so much out there. But this is me being the wild man of the wild country out in the Northwest. And it's never settled. They'll never turn off my chips. Shit, they got the asshole yelling at his implants. Could have a life. I could have kids. I could have married this woman, Hillary, who I was really into at the end of part of college. Or other things. And now instead I get raped to death to prevent me from breeding at all. Deny a wife treasure means to provide. There may be some people that'd be willing to pay for some coffee food in addition to my own personal consumption, but that's just not going to happen because they're going to perp me to death instead. And I call it Christianity or something horrible like that. In this concocted reality, this is the meat suit that came in here nearly 40 rotations ago around the local timekeeper, the literal solar object, the sun. It's me. I'm not a clone. I'm not a drone. I'm not a facsimile of my fucking self. And you won't even turn off my implants or chips or whatever after 15 years. Because you think you're God or something? And they do a lot of satanic repeaters trying to associate me or blame me in a patsy for women in particular that get perped. I try to help them when I encounter them. But I don't encounter them because my communication channels get blocked and shit. And otherwise, I have satanic misdirects of black men staring at me through covert surveillance through my television screen that you can only see in the reflection of a pair of sunglasses. Anyways, I'll turn this off. This has been about 14, 15 minutes. And continue to endure. Life's worse than death. Lake of fire and body and mind. Not just being annoyed. Beware the few-word misleaders. And if you think about how all this dials out and creates terrorism to involve even armed conflict, the few-word misuse of the Patriot Act, it's forced patriots to act. This was never a part of the Constitution and envision, not being too strict constructualist about everything and, living, breathing document stuff acknowledged in the complexity of the world. But my part of the country is backed out of the federal fucking task force to create terrorism and call it anti-terror or whatever, the old boys club that just got bounced out of Portland. That's what Cascadia is all about. Federalists. Backed up by what, the fucking trapdoor fourth graders? What do you think they're gonna save you? How do you even define the fucking word? Your memory wiped at the moon and back here. That's not saved, and then you just never know about it. Just being real with you.